Hello and welcome to the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them, they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the Deferred Sales Trust, is the best way for you to exit highly appreciated luxury real estate, businesses, cryptocurrency, so you can defer tax and grow your wealth. Hey, I'm your host, Brett Swarts, and each episode I'm joined by some of the best real estate, financial wealth, and business minds in the world, where they share their ideas, deal stories, and inspiration. So together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. We're also streaming on expertsecrets.com, expertsecrets.com that is, and you can learn more about that there as a real estate professional. Hey, I'm excited about our next guest. He's a good friend of mine, and he's also a part of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions team, as well as the EXP team as well that I am a part of. His name is Pierce York, and he's out of the great Southern California city of Newport Beach. He's a luxury-focused real estate agent who can help you defer tax when selling highly appreciated luxury properties. And he's also trained and been coached in the Deferred Sales Trust, and he'll be taking over a part of the podcast as well here in the near future. Please welcome to the show with me, Pierce York. Hey, Pierce, how you doing?
Good, Brett. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic and excited to, again, introduce everyone to you, Pierce. We were just in Dallas, Texas, hanging out, growing the EXP team, growing the DST education for a lot of real estate and business professionals. But besides all of that, I'm in Northern California, you're in Southern California. Would you give our listeners a little bit more about where you grew up, where you're from, and your current focus right now?
Yeah, so grew up in Sacramento and went to high school all the way through junior college there, and then found myself at beautiful San Diego State University. I got a business degree in entrepreneurship and international marketing. By the grace of God, I found myself in Rome in a study abroad program, which was just a life-changing experience. And after that, came back and started to work with Signature Business Consulting, brokering contracts between nonprofit organizations and California state agencies. And from there, moved to real estate and medical sales, and been doing investing and sales ever since. Finally moved back about few months ago to Newport Beach to leverage the Deferred Sales Trust in order to secure more listings in the luxury market and help out some of those people that are going to have some significant capital gains tax.
Excellent. Yeah, and we'll be talking all things luxury, Newport Beach, real estate, and the Deferred Sales Trust, and how Pierce can help you today if you're looking at selling, any friends or family members that are selling, here in a minute. But I want to take one other step back in our story, Pierce, and I want you to go back maybe to the high school days, maybe to the early college days. You know, I think we've all been given certain gifts in this life, and some people call them strengths, some people call them superpowers. I think they're God-given gifts, and they've been given to us to be a blessing and help to others. So I'm curious, what is that, maybe the one or two gifts that you believe you were given, and how does that help how you help and bless people today?
So I think one of the best gifts that I've been given is I'm able to figure out a way to turn losses into victories. And, just sometimes situations don't pan out the way that you want them to. I've always been good at figuring out how to turn them around and make it useful somehow, whether that's learning from past failures or, just using what actually happened to just kind of move forward and use that to, leverage somewhere else or whatever the case may be. I just, I've always found a way to kind of figure things out when they just kind of get, sticky, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. Turning losses into victories and turning tough situations around. I think you recently did a Newport Beach turnaround on an investment property, turn to Airbnb. You want to share briefly about that and what you found about that piece of property in Newport Beach?
So in 2000 and what was it, 17? We bought a duplex out there, and we've been Airbnb-ing it ever since. And we put about $100,000 into it and fixed it up. But and a couple of things have happened, which just, I don't know if you own Airbnbs. COVID really hurt, and poor management. So it was still breaking even, and it's still been an amazing appreciated investment, but the cash flow wasn't as good as we had hoped. And so we're now able to we're going to live in it now and use it as our hub to kind of grow this luxury real estate market. And that's just kind of one example of how take something that might not be so amazing and turn it around into something. Hey, this is going to be really sweet, because we're still able to rent out the other parts of the duplex and still find a place to live and really help. Otherwise, living down in Newport Beach sometimes can $10,000 a month or whatever, and it's it's expensive.
Yep. And Pierce is referring to his wife, and is it now 3, Pierce, or 2.5?
3 in November.
So the third baby's due in November, and so how old are your daughters, Pierce?
3, 1, and this one will be 0 in November.
0.6 or so. Yeah, it'll be at 9 months there. So that's very cool, Pierce. And so now let's dive into the luxury Newport Beach real estate market. What do you think the biggest secret to understanding what's happening in that type of beach town in the luxury real estate market? What's kind of your temperature on the market, and where do you see the market going here in the next 6 to 12 months?
I kind of see that what everyone else is seeing out here. Home values are still climbing, but they're kind of maybe getting to the point to where we might be turning around here soon. And not like a 2008 crash or anything like that, but I can definitely see the market kind of turning a little bit. Prices, have kind of gotten outrageous, and I don't know. I think a lot of smart people are kind of just like, well, just kind of like wait before we buy again. People are paying $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 over asking price sometimes, and it's just not conducive to what they're trying to do.
Yeah, the market is red hot, and we're seeing valuations that are very high. We recently did a Deferred Sales Trust deal in Palo Alto for a luxury deal, $8.3 million deal, and he's facing some huge capital gains taxes. And the biggest challenge was figuring out a way to defer that tax and make sense of the marketplace. And I'm also seeing folks that are selling and moving out of California, and that's what this particular client did. He sold and moved into Nevada, and that's a common thing that we're seeing. And that Nevada, selling from California, moving into Nevada, deferring that capital gains tax, or other states. And so Pierce, I'm curious, are you seeing some of the same challenges or same migration patterns as folks, selling high in Newport Beach or Southern California and moving out to other states?
I mean, yeah, I was looking at this migration pattern the other day, and what was interesting though is that he was saying that a lot of realtors are justifying the crazy prices in other markets because of just really, a lot of people just moving there, moving to the warmer weather and stuff like that. And they're saying, well, because these people are moving, there, that the prices are going to keep going. Well, if you look at like the actual migration patterns and you look back in like 2004, 5, and 6, you'll see that some of those markets were actually even higher back in those days. And so the fact that they're a little bit lower, they're still consistently high. Don't get me wrong. Places like Austin and, like Raleigh, North Carolina, and other places like that are, supposed to be the hot markets. They're justifying these super high prices, and they're saying, well, everyone, is moving here now because of COVID and all this other stuff, and the data is not supporting that. And so, I still, California, especially, is a lot of red. People are definitely leaving, and they're going to other places for sure. That's no doubt. But I think it's slowing down a little bit, as opposed to really speeding up like some of these other places are suggesting.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there for sure. And it's interesting to actually look at the stats, and a lot of the headlines can be a little bit deceiving. But yeah, they're certainly moving to places like North Carolina, Florida, Texas, Nevada, Arizona, Tennessee. I've had a number of friends and family move out to different states, and so it's happening. And so now let's focus on kind of Newport Beach area, and the Deferred Sales Trust. So with being able to help people who are selling and looking to defer the tax, and would you kind of walk through how you see the Deferred Sales Trust helping individuals who might want to list and sell a property with you, and kind of the competitive advantage that you have to help them with that?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of these people have bought their homes, back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and they bought them for, 100, 200, 300, 400 grand maybe, but, and they've held on to them. And those properties have now appreciated to 3, 4, 5, 6, $10 million. And so with that, as a primary home, there's not too many alternative solutions for, deferring capital gains tax. And even bigger down in here is the 40% estate tax that people get when they pass on to their heirs. And so we're able to leverage the Deferred Sales Trust as a way to say, hey, look, like, we can sell your assets that are highly appreciated, defer all the tax. We can even move it outside of the taxable estate. And, because of that, your children won't have to pay this 40% death tax, and they'll be able to live off the cash flow and then reinvest it in other things that they decide that they want to do a little bit later. The flexibility, cash flow, diversification, optimal timing, all the benefits that you get from a deferred sales trust. And so we're leveraging that to kind of come in and provide a lot of extra value versus just, hey, I want to sell your house.
Right, 100%. And let's do an example of that, right? Let's imagine you own a property in Newport Beach, and let's say you bought it for $500,000. And let's imagine you're married and you lived there for 20 years. And like Pierce said, it's rapidly appreciated up to, let's just say, 10 million to keep it simple. And let's also imagine you put, about $1 million of improvements into the property. And so the first thing to understand is your adjusted basis, where that's at. And then also look at where the gain is above that. And so in this scenario, you bought it for 500. You put about $1 million into it, so now you're at 1.5 on an adjusted basis. And then let's say you're married to the last 5 years. You have what's called the 121 exclusion. So now you're at $2 million, as kind of, let's say, as the number. Now from 2 to 10, that's a big gap. That's an $8 million gain. In California, it's about 33% of that gain would be taxable. State and federal, okay, and so do the math there. That's approximately $2.64 million, about $2.6 million. So Pierce, is what you're saying that you could come in, you could help them sell it, sell it, and then defer that $2.6 million. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying I could come in. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I could come in and literally sell the house for $1 million less than another agent and still net them 1.6 more than they would if they listed it with the top agent.
Right.
Not saying that I would do that. However, that's the power of it, right? Because then that extra gain is, these people aren't talking about that. And it's a huge part. And all of a sudden they get slapped with a 33% capital gains tax. And you're just like, I don't know how to help you, but we do.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And so that's a great point, right? So there are certain things that, realtors are doing as far as drones and as far as, social media and marketing and professional photos and all of the marketing and such that are important, right? Because you want to get maximum exposure to get as many potential buyers to drive up the price and then negotiate and make a great deal. But at the end of the day, if someone can help net at the closing statement an extra $2.6 million, now it's going to be deferred and it's going to be put into a trust, and you can live off the cash flow, like Pierce was saying, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or real estate. That's really powerful, right? Because that's $2.6 million more for my family, for my legacy, and it's a much harder to try to obtain. Let's say on a $10 million sale, someone who can sell it for $12.6 million, rather than someone who can still sell it for 10 and net an extra $2.6 million. So it's a powerful strategy. Now, Pierce, most people just don't know about this. Why don't they know about it? And tell us kind of your journey to the Deferred Sales Trust.
Yeah, honestly, I was just having this conversation the other day with a cousin of mine who was like, "What makes you so special that you know about this and other people don't?" And I just told him, I was like, honestly, man, I don't know. I was just, God put me in the right room at the right time with the right people, and I was just smart enough to shut up and listen. And I really can't say anything more than that, because they've done a really good job at, I don't want to say keeping it secret, but keeping it really proprietary. And they have not really, it's kind of been like one of these under the radar, kind of keep it on the hush hush strategies that no one's really taken and tried to blown up. And I think it was smart the way that they did it, because they developed a proven track record. They went through the legal fire of the 2 formal audits. They went through the 12 no change audits that were just random. They went through the FINRA, and it just it gives it such a good foundation and track record. You don't have to be the pioneer with the arrow in your back now. And so I feel like in the next 5 years, people are going to know about this all over the place.
Yep, we couldn't agree with you more, Pierce. Very well said. By the way, you can learn more about Pierce York at kingdomluxuryrealty.com. That's kingdomluxuryrealty.com. And the cool thing is, you work with Pierce, you also get to work with our company, because he's a part of Capital Gains Tax Solutions as well. And our goal is to try to bring a dream team to you to help you understand this Deferred Sales Trust, the thousands of closes, the billions under management, the like Pierce said, over a dozen no change IRS audits. And it literally has a perfect track record. But you're right, there's like a double-edged sword with knowing about it and then having it get into the wrong hands. And so part of that is keeping it more proprietary, more protected. And the other side of it is getting the word out. But we work with a lot of law firms, a lot of CPAs, a lot of financial advisors across the U.S., but we're very protective of it, because we don't want to give our secrets away, and then B, give the secrets of those who created it away, as well as have it get into the wrong hands and somebody messes it up or abuses it or takes it too far. And so but at the essence, it's just an installment sale. If you're wanting about the Deferred Sales Trust, you can carry back paper for the trust in exchange for a period of payments over time, and slowly pay tax over time. Not unlike kind of like a IRA or a 401k or 1031 exchange. And by the way, you can learn more about that. You can go to kingdomluxuryrealty.com. That's kingdomluxuryrealty.com. Pierce, all that being said, are you ready for the lightning round?
Yeah.
All right. Knowing what you know now, if you can go back to your 20-year-old self, what's the one golden nugget you'd make sure to tell yourself to do?
Yeah. Start earlier.
What would you start earlier?
My life, instead of being in college and focus on the weekends, get out there and start grinding, really take education seriously, not waste my time. So I wasted a lot of time in college.
Smart. Second question, what's the one book you've recommended or gifted the most in the past year?
To Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
Those are wonderful books.
Yep.
Third question, what's the number one leadership quote or theme that you strive to live by?
Oh, man. There's so many. There are so many. I think taking extreme ownership is the one that I've really been focusing on these past couple of years. Not making excuses and just you know, taking responsibility for problems that come up and trying to find solutions, not just blame, but the key is to find the solutions to fix the problems.
Beautiful. Love it. Next question. What are you most curious about right now?
Oh, just where we're going, the entire country, where we're going, how this whole, you know, how this whole situation is going to play out, what they're going to do with the 1031, what they're going to do with the stepped up basis, what they're going to do with the estate tax. There's a lot of really interesting potential things coming down the pipeline that we could be really well positioned for.
Yeah,
So
I couldn't agree with you more.
Right? That goes for sure.
Yep, the largest wealth transfer in the history of the planet's happening, and being in the front lines to help people with that. That's what we're focused on here, Pierce and I. And so, last question, Pierce. After growing your family to 2, almost 3 daughters, right? Being married now for a few years, studying and working real estate for over 5 years, and buying the Newport Beach duplex, being a part of EXP as a luxury agent, and then studying the Deferred Sales Trust. After all that success, how do you stay centered in your values, and how do you stay encouraged to charge forward to reach new goals?
Yeah, I just try to stay focused on Jesus and just make sure that staying humble and not letting a little bit of success to get to your head and get arrogant, and just really try to make sure that we're, doing things with that are above reproach, and just make sure that we're, just being good examples. Because the few times that, you haven't, or, you do something stupid and you get caught, and, you disappoint the creator, and that's not a good feeling. So definitely making sure that we're doing things on the up and up. So
beautiful. Living for the internal versus the temporary, right, Pierce?
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, Pierce, I want to thank you for being on the show, sharing a bit about your story, for being part of the EXP family as well as the Capital Gains Tax Solutions family. I'm extremely excited about your future and everything that we're going to achieve to help a lot of people together. And I want to encourage you to keep turning losses into victories and turning things around for individuals who have challenges in their real estate, in their wealth building. And I couldn't be more excited to do it with anybody else, Pierce. So thank you so much. Yeah, brother. And so for those who want to get in touch with you, could you remind them one last time what's the best place for them to find you?
Yeah, kingdomluxuryrealty.com. Also, you can email me at Pierce, Pierce, .cgts for Capital Gains Tax Solutions at gmail.com. And you can reach out to me there.
Beautiful. And you can also find Pierce on LinkedIn, Facebook, all the socials. He also has that with his beautiful family. And so check that out as well, Instagram, Facebook. And with that, I want to thank our listeners for listening to another episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast. As always, we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them, they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the Deferred Sales Trust, is the best way for you to sell highly appreciated luxury real estate. And if you're selling in Newport Beach, your person, your guy, please take a peek at Pierce York to help you with navigating all of those challenges with capital gains tax and selling your luxury home. Please rate, review, subscribe. We so appreciate everyone out there in the capital gains tax solutions world, as well as the expert CRE secrets world. And we hope to talk to you again real soon.